Hey folks, welcome to Market Technical Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Well, today's Thursday, April 17th, 2008, and what an interesting day it came out to be after hours especially, and we'll get into that, folks. But let's first talk about yesterday and how we set up in the video yesterday for today perfectly. And just as we get into this, folks, these technicals that we study and learn, and it's stuff that can be taught. It's not that hard to learn, and everyone needs a basis and foundation for the technicals. So I strongly encourage you guys come and join the E-Mini Intraday Stock Chat as we talk technicals, talk chart patterns, and answer questions all day while we trade. Also, the swing trade alerts, the options alerts are good, and also the private consulting and institutional consulting, and also the webinar. And the webinar, we're concluding the second half of the webinar tonight, but we'll be doing another one where we teach all these technical stuff in a certain time frame over in an afternoon or an evening. So in any case, folks, come join that. Now let's get into this wild market action. Number one, all right, yesterday we talked in the video, and you're looking right now at the chart of the Intraday ES 10-minute. And again, as I said, we talked yesterday in the video about a pause day today. All right, we said, oftentimes after a big rally, and this is something we've noticed that becomes a common theme, that after a big move in the market, such as we had, you're going to have a pause day, and that's exactly what we got today. The Dow was up 1.22. That's 1.22, or less than 0.01%, basically flat. The Nasdaq was down 8 points, and the S&P was up just less than a point, and it was a pause day. That's what it was, folks. You have to, after a monster move like that on the daily, and we'll flip over to the daily here. Here's the daily, and you see the monster move there getting us back above that necktie area, and now you had a pause day. That's all it was, a pause day. Now, the key here, folks, is on the intraday, you had that choppy trading, which is notorious for the pause day of Options X. You see the move down here, then you had a move up, and then a move down, and then actually you created a little bit of a W pattern here, and then another move up, a V pattern, and then off to the races into the close to close flat for the day. So a nice W pattern right there. Very, very nice. Right on the 200 moving average. If you can see the green line there, which is the 200, it comes right here. That's where the 200 is. So in any case, it was a choppy intraday period today. The moves were not ginormous by any stretch, but it was a little bit choppy with up and down moves. Not a lot of good trading stuff out there as the market was quiet on very light volume. Now, the key here, folks, is the after-hours activity. We had talked about this in yesterday's video. In all the last few videos, we said Google is huge for this market. Google. And Google reports Thursday after the bell, and that's what we're going to see. Now, Google reported after hours, guys, and you guys know going into this, we've been talking about how the market is going to have another move up. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about the inverse head and shoulders on the daily chart. We've been talking about this nonstop, how this is going to happen. Sure enough, Google comes out after the bell, GOG, and blows past estimates, just massacres the estimates. And the stock is right now trading up over $75 after hours. I'll show you guys the level 2 here. The stock closed down 5 and change. You guys know we always like when a stock closes down its earnings, especially on the chart pattern Google has. And we actually mentioned in the chat room, we said, guys, we don't play earnings because it's too risky, but this chart on Google is phenomenal. That's what we said in the chat room. And sure enough, a $75 move on Google. This is a huge market cap company. To move that much is a tremendous move. Very bullish for the market tomorrow, especially tech. And now we go right back on the boat of saying, as we've been saying for the past week, that the rally that started 2 days ago, we paused today. It probably continues tomorrow, and this is what we've been expecting. Watch for the moves, and I'll show you guys the daily chart to point out key areas where we're looking to move to, where we're going to hit resistance finally in this market. Okay, so anyways, let's flip to the daily chart, and I want to look at the SPY daily. Here's the SPY daily, folks, and you can see the pause day here. We closed right here, and this is where we ended the next day after the monster rally. And notice here again, and I really don't, you can see the little head and shoulders here, and there's the head here, here's the shoulder formation. Now we're moving back up. Now we start to look for the key area of resistance, which is going to be a final breakout point once it happens. And this is this point. So we're going to watch tomorrow this line as the market moves up into it, as you're going to find some resistance right here, but it's very likely we get above that at some point soon. We'll have to basically watch the charts tomorrow and see where we close the day. We will expect, if we should have a very solid move tomorrow, we will expect that it will pause around that line for consolidation before breaking further up. But nonetheless, guys, you guys know where InTheMoneyStocks.com has been standing. We've been calling for this secondary rally after this one, even when everyone doubted us. And we talked about the Fibonacci retracement of almost 50%. On this, it was 0.382, 0.38 Fibonacci retracement right here on the SPY. On the NASDAQ, it was a 50% retracement as a key area. But at that point, when we sold off last Friday, we had doubters like crazy. Where's the rally? This and that. And you know what? The charts speak for themselves, and that's all you can say is that we understand that people will doubt, and that's why we do what we do, and we like to help people learn the charts. It's what we do. We live and breathe these things. We live and breathe these mathematical formulations and all these different type of equations. And by coming together with all these patterns and prices and time patterns and all the psychological natures of the market, we can figure out pretty much high percentage where this market's headed, as you guys are seeing in these videos. So in any case, that's what you're looking at here. You saw the monster move up into that resistance area, and you knew it was going to be resistance when we moved up here in this chart. This is the daily chart, and before we pulled back, because you had a triple top here, it's always resistance. You pulled back here. On this, you did a 0.38 retracement, which is a Fibonacci retracement, getting us below the necktie, and that's where the doubters started to come out. And that's when the psychological, we take that as an indicator too, guys, that we're nearing the next move up. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but when we get people questioning us more and more on that, that's when we start to realize, okay, the move's coming very, very shortly. And sure enough, you get below that necktie right here, you get a little bit of a tail on that candle. People are doubting us after last Friday's drop, and before you know it, blast off central. And now we pause today, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Now, tomorrow could be anything, really, but as of now, it looks like the futures are pretty strong on Google's earnings, and we possibly will move up into this resistance line, which is going to be resistance again. We haven't broken it yet, so we'll watch tomorrow. Do we close above it? Do we sell off after we hit it? Because we could hit that and sell off by the end of the day, too. I mean, there's a lot of things overnight that can happen. We could have new financial negatives out there, financial reports that are negative. You never know. But as of now, it's looking very, very strong, and we'll continue to monitor it. Now, let's look at the NASDAQ quickly, guys, and then I just want to touch on a couple stocks. NASDAQ chart, same type of deal here. You had this move here, up to here. You had the retrace down below the necktie, getting the skeptics and the psychological nature of the market to go bearish. And there's a lot of factors we look at. We look at the call ratio. We look at the nature of the media. We look at the nature of the individual investor. There's a bunch of different factors, how we put them all together to find out the closest psychological indicator that we can where this market's going, and it's worked to a T. Our compilation has worked to a T, as you guys have seen. Now, there you get the move up, the pause day right here, and now you gotta figure the NASDAQ does all right tomorrow, as it may retest this high here on the neckline of this breakout right here. All right, so we're gonna watch that head and shoulder inverse. Excuse me, make sure I say the inverse and the head and shoulder pattern right here. And luckily, it came to fruition as we had been seeing. And now again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Anything could happen, as I always say, but nonetheless, it is looking positive. Now let's talk on a couple charts. I want to look at the Google chart going into earnings and show you guys something here. Look at this bullish chart. This is such a bullish chart. A lot of people won't take it that way, but that's why we're good at what we do. Between the calculations and the nature of the price pattern and time, you notice the push up, blasted through the 20, pulled back here, then blasted to the 50. That's where we called that move down in the market we were going to see before the next rally, at which point it pulled back to this 20, consolidating all the way here, and now you have Google right now. Really, Google's all the way right up here. Look at the move. Is that a beautiful chart pattern? It's such a beautiful chart pattern. We never play earnings because anything can happen, but nonetheless, we talked about this in the chat as being a very, very bullish pattern. Now, ISRG had earnings after the bell, and let's look at the daily. Now, this is not such a good pattern. Why? Well, you had a huge move up off the low, so Google was near the lows and had pushed up and consolidated, but was still nearer the lows than the highs. ISRG was up near the highs, pulled back into the 20, and into earnings, it double topped. Boom. All right, where's this stock trading right now on earnings after the bell? Let's take a look at the level 2 and find out. And there you guys go. Closed at $348.50, up $2.51, trading at $305.50 after hours. That's a $40 plus sell-off after hours. It's all about understanding the charts, guys, and I can't stress to you guys how much you need to take our webinar because we talk about these patterns. We give out more than we should in those webinars. We really should be more careful about what we give off, but you know what? We believe in giving everyone what they need to trade the markets effectively, and if that's what it takes, so be it. You can talk to anyone that's taken the webinar. They are a much better trader. In fact, there was a trade that someone was in the chat room that took the webinar a week or two ago, and it was just a phenomenal trade, and they traded it purely based on what they learned in the webinar. It was a beautiful trade, so I congratulate them and hope they continue with their success. All right, folks, enough chatting for today. You guys know it looks like tech will be strong tomorrow. Most technology is gapping up after hours. Most things are gapping up after hours here, and we'll see. As long as things stay pat, it looks like another rally tomorrow. Come join the Swing Trade Alerts. Get some hot picks right now. We've been positioning ourselves long for this move. We're finally getting it. We got filled on another swing trade today on the move down early in the day that's going to be doing very well tomorrow. The options alerts, same thing. Intra Day E-Mini stock chat, private consulting, institutionals. Institutions, come and get us. We're here to be had, and we have some good institutional clients right now, but we're willing to take on more. Have a wonderful day, guys. Be safe. Talk to you tomorrow.